Above the Game Outdoors is brought to you by Cherokee Sports. Solutions for the sportsman. Scent Crusher. Scent off, game on. Expedition Archery. Make your next hunt an expedition. Tacticam. Share your hunt. Wind Pro. The proven whitetail attractant. Dead Ringer. There will be blood. Monster Meal. Attract, nourish, enjoy. And these fine sponsors.
Hey everybody, I want to share with you not only this awesome hunt, but also the setup I used to do it, because that's to me just as important. And on that setup I used an Expedition Explorer SS. I accessorized it with these Tacticams to get that footage, both angles, selfie pointing back, forward facing 4.0. And with those two, you both get the hunter and your game both in the same frame, and that makes for the perfect video for self-filming. My arrow setup is a Slash Express arrow tipped with a Dead Ringer Hyperstrike. Very deadly combination. I found this buck one day, and it was early rut when everybody was wondering if it started or not. Well, he actually found a hot doe, and I think it was the first hot doe in the area. So there was multiple yearlings running around, little basket rack bucks. I call satellites just because they act the same way as a satellite bull, always trying to pull that doe or get that doe off that buck. He was a very catty buck that day, and he was always on guard, looking, just wasn't very comfortable laying down at all, because he always had these deer running across the field to challenge him for that doe. Well, anyways, they crested the hill, so I let them go to settle down. It was probably almost a week later before I found him again, and it was like the perfect morning. 19 degrees, he was standing on top of this knoll of a bean field with his doe, and it was all frosty, beautiful, beautiful picture. So anyways, I had to go do some work, and I came back and around the section, I tried finding him again, and they were gone. So I circled the block a couple times, looking, all the hot spots I know of, couldn't find them. And I was going down the road, and I happened to see two deer standing out there in a waterway. So I glassed him real quick with my Vortex binoculars, and there he was standing there with that doe. Hardly moved 50 yards from where I saw him that morning. He just bedded down with her and I couldn't see him. So I took a picture of him as a reference point in that waterway to use for later in the stalk. So I went and I circled around the bean field to get the wind in my favor. And the way this topography works is there's a pasture inside of a waterway. So the inside of the waterway is just eaten down by the cows. And then the outside is all tall grass, so it makes for perfect bedding area. They can see for miles. They got the wind in their favor. Usually nothing walks up behind them. So as I'm circling, I'm walking in this nice, easy walk, and I'm looking at my phone, and I'm looking up in the grass to find that coloration in that grass difference. And I kept moving forward, and I'm like, oh God, he's got to be around here somewhere. Then all of a sudden I heard a grunt, and I don't know why, but I looked backwards, and when I turned around, he's standing 25 yards looking at me. Pretty well broadside, maybe a little bit quartering to. And I had two thoughts run through my head. Either I stare at him, stand here and stare at him, and let him run away, or I draw my bow, and either he runs away or he stares at me more. Well, I drew my bow, and he stared at me long enough for me to squeeze off and send a slash through the air right into his chest. But he managed to go about 150 yards up and over the hill and crash in the waterway. The doe laid in her bed until he was halfway up that hill before she realized what had even happened. So I walked up over the hill, and there he was laying. I couldn't believe it. He's just rack sticking up out of the grass. And it's moments like this, having Tacticams on your bow, shotgun, anything, make this moment relivable, because sometimes you can tell stories and nobody will believe you. But I can tell this story and relive the moment knowing that I have proof that it actually did happen.